If there's one comparison that never disappears from the prehistoric imagination, it's this one: Spinosaurus versus Tyrannosaurus Rex. Two giants of the Cretaceous, two completely different ways of being a predator, and a question that continues to fascinate anyone who looks these creatures in the eye. The first thing to understand is simple. They never lived in the same place or even the same environment. Spinosaurus lived in North Africa, surrounded by rivers, wetlands, and dense aquatic ecosystems. Tyrannosaurus rex dominated North America in open plains and forests filled with large land animals. So any encounter between them is hypothetical, built on anatomy, environment, and behavior. At first glance, Spinosaurus appears larger. It could reach up to 14 meters in length, making it longer overall. T-Rex was shorter, around 12 meters, but far more compact and heavily built. It stood taller at the hips and carried much more functional mass, and that difference matters. Length alone does not mean dominance. Visually, they could not be more different. Spinosaurus looked like a predator designed around water. A long, crocodile-like snout, narrow conical teeth, a powerful tail, and a massive sail rising from its back. It didn't resemble a classic land predator. It looked like something entirely different, something specialized. T-Rex was the opposite: a deep skull, thick neck, compact torso, and jaws built to withstand extreme forces. It didn't look unusual. It looked optimized, like a machine built for impact, grip, and destruction. Even their teeth reflect this contrast. Spinosaurus had long, narrow teeth, perfect for catching slippery prey like fish. T-Rex had thick, serrated teeth designed to crush bone and tear through flesh under immense pressure. So when it comes to bite force, the advantage clearly belongs to T-Rex. In fact, it likely had the most powerful bite of any land animal that ever lived. But fights are not decided by a single statistic. Movement, balance, and terrain are just as important. Spinosaurus had a longer, more unusual body, with relatively short hind legs and a less stable posture on land. T-Rex, on the other hand, was balanced, stable, and highly efficient on solid ground. Their bodies were built for different worlds. Spinosaurus lived in environments full of water, rivers, mud, and unstable terrain. T-Rex evolved in dry landscapes with firm footing and clear lines of movement. And that changes everything in Spinosaurus's world. Water dominates the fight. Movement becomes slower, footing becomes uncertain, and visibility is reduced. In that environment, Spinosaurus gains an advantage. It can use its reach, its familiarity with water, and its ability to maneuver in unstable terrain. For T-Rex, this would be uncomfortable, even dangerous. But on dry land, the situation reverses completely. T-Rex gains stability, traction, and control. Its body is built to push forward, absorb impact, and deliver devastating bites. In a direct, head-on confrontation on solid ground, T-Rex becomes far more dangerous. There is also a difference in fighting style. Spinosaurus does not appear built for sustained face-to-face combat. Its anatomy suggests a more specialized, opportunistic approach. T-Rex, however, was exactly that: a predator built to take and deliver force directly. So the real question is not simply who is stronger, it is where the fight happens and how it begins. On a muddy riverbank, with water rising around their legs and the terrain broken by channels, Spinosaurus gains options. It can disrupt movement, control space, and force its opponent into an uncomfortable position. On open land, the advantage shifts sharply. There, T-Rex can use its full strength, balance, mass, and bite force to dominate the encounter. If we divide the comparison into categories, the picture becomes clear. Bite force and direct combat favor T-Rex. Mobility in water and environmental control favor Spinosaurus. This is not about popularity, it is about specialization. Spinosaurus represents something rare, a large predator adapted to both land and water, with a body unlike almost any other. T-Rex represents the opposite, a highly refined terrestrial predator, built for efficiency, power, and direct confrontation. We also need to separate two ideas that are often confused: total length and useful fighting mass. Spinosaurus was longer, but T-Rex had a more compact, functional build for combat. And that changes how we understand the outcome. If the encounter begins near water, Spinosaurus can shift the conditions, making the fight uneven and unpredictable. If it happens on dry ground, T-Rex regains control and becomes overwhelmingly dangerous. Even their presence feels different. Spinosaurus confuses and unsettles. T-Rex intimidates and dominates. One feels strange and unfamiliar. The other feels like the ultimate expression of a predator. That is why this comparison remains so compelling. It is not just a battle, it is a contrast between two completely different solutions to survival: water versus land, length versus compact power, specialization versus dominance. And perhaps that is the real conclusion. There is no simple winner. Only two giants, shaped by different worlds, each perfectly built for their own. And that is why this imagined encounter is impossible to forget.